Good morning, everyone. It's Rabbi Farkas from Valley Best Shalom. Hope everyone's doing okay. This quarantine, this safer at home just keeps going. And in some ways, it's the new normal. We've got a whole month of this ahead of us, at least. And so I've been thinking a lot about, with only about 10 days to go before Passover, how we should make our way in the world. And I just want to give you a couple of updates of what's been going on and what we're rolling out. Some really, really great opportunities, and then give a morning intention, a morning Kavanah. So we've been continuing rolling out all of this wonderful programming called Valley Best Shalom at Home. You can find it on our website, vbs.org/VBS at home. There's lots of resources there. There's lots of opportunities for you to see videos and connect with us via Facebook, via YouTube, Instagram, through Zoom or Zoom calls. Those are all wonderful opportunities. We have all of our Chesed programs are now up and running and doing very well. So we're very, very happy about all of that. And it's one thing I've really taken to heart is that as we get ready for Passover is that as much as we need brick and mortar buildings, what I think, and maybe something to begin with and thinking about going into Passover is that the brick and mortar that creates an institution or provides a home for the institution is only part of it. And maybe it's one of those things that I was been thinking about in terms of the Passover story itself, that what Pharaoh wanted from us was our physical bodies and our physical labor to create the brick and mortar for him and to work for his dreams of creating palaces and cities. And that physicality that he needed from us was so that he could dream of a grander Egypt, let's say. And in that process, what the Pharaoh wanted us to do was to also then destroy our own community by becoming enslaved to Pharaoh, and then in addition, of course, the genocide that he perpetrated against the Israelites by ensuring that all of the baby boys be murdered when they were just babies, just little kids. And so I just think about what that means for us is that physicality is the thing that Pharaoh wanted. And then in this environment, in this modern environment, what we found is that even though we have a wonderful campus and we're working on that campus and we're building that campus, the campus isn't everything. That physicality that we're building is really important, but it's not the entirety of the community. That the community itself is not bricks and mortar and cement. The physicality of the campus, the physicality of the community isn't found necessarily in wood and hammer and nail. It's found in people like you and me being together. That community itself can be found online, can be found in person, can be found across generations, it can be found across locations, it can be found across generations, and that neither geography or biology can keep us from being with each other. And the truth of that is found very much in the rabbinic literature that postdates the destruction of the temple. Their brick and mortar institution was ripped apart, and they had to stitch a community back together using whatever technology that they had. And they wrote everything down in the Mishnah. And in Pirkei Avot, Rabbi Hillel said, "Al tifros min hatzibur," that you shouldn't be separate yourself from the community. And so as we start our day, I want you to take all of those strands and begin bringing them together, which is that it is the notion of Egypt that brick and mortar make greatness. It's not the notion of Israel. It's the notion of Egypt that what we build is only reflected in the height of our buildings or the physical connection that we make to the land. It is only in Egypt where physicality counts as community. But we know from the Passover story that God pulls us out of that physicality into a spiritual place. And maybe that's where we are today. As we get ready for Passover, it's only about 10 days from now, we find ways of connecting using our technology, using our ways of connecting with each other, and realizing that physicality is only part of the puzzle, but it's not the entirety of the puzzle. And so beginning today, beginning tonight, we're going to be teaching you how to do a virtual Seder with all sorts of tips and tricks and the technical side. We're going to be talking over and over again about how to connect as a community and how to connect through Passover itself. I mean, just one last little reflection before your day really gets on is that the Passover story, which takes us from the physicality of Egypt to the spirituality of Mount Sinai, that takes us from darkness to light, is embodied in the Passover Seder. And in the Passover Seder is not a Seder that is done in a temple necessarily. It's not something that you go to synagogue for. It's something that's done in your home. And that home-based ritual is a good reminder to us that what matters the most in Judaism, again, is not our physical places that we build, but the people that we build it with. And so as we go into this day, I want you to reach out to someone you care about, whether it's across a generation or across a geographic location, and reach out to them and say, I see you, I hear you, and I'm going to invite you to my Passover table, because liberation is something that we can't do on our own. We have to do with other people. Have a wonderful day. Try to stay strong and stay healthy. Take care of yourselves today. Get some exercise. And maybe reach out through a video call or just a regular phone call to someone who needs a place at the Passover table too, so that we can all enjoy going into this wonderful season of liberation together. Have a great day.